Hi, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for being here. Oh,
He's so cute.
you're gonna be the one that gets us clout.
The cat, yes.
Yeah. Hi, welcome back to what are we calling it now? Hereticality. Hereticality.
But there was another one that
I can't even fucking say it.
Well, what was the one that was it Eddie?
Yeah, I was trying to remember. I have no fucking idea, but it was so funny.
It was so good.
I don't know if it was so funny because we were drunk.
It might have been that. Heretical. I don't know.
Heretics meet.
Something about discussion, maybe.
I'll text him later.
Yeah.
Although he probably doesn't fucking remember either.
Heretical discourse.
But yeah, welcome back. What's some crazy? I like to include pop culture events.
Yeah.
Because it'd be kind of cool to look back.
Sure.
Or someone starts watching the channel and they're like, "Oh, this happened this year."
Yeah.
The Trump thing where he's a taco.
The Trump thing, he's a taco. I'm not.
You haven't
aware.
heard of it?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Bring
funny.
me in.
Usually, you're the one who.
I've been checked out of the modern events or whatever for a little bit because it's just a joke.
Justifiably so.
It's
a joke.
It
is the thing. It's a circus out there.
Yeah.
But it was like Trump always chickens out.
Oh, I did hear this. The interview question about his tariff stuff.
Hey, Mr. President, people calling you a fucking loser. He's like, I am. No.
That is a nasty question.
That is a nasty question.
It might be factually accurate and grounded in true events, but it's not nice to ask.
But it's so
not
funny
nice.
when he's an asshole.
Yeah.
And then someone's an asshole to him,
Not
and
nice.
he's like, "No, that's mean. You're being mean."
It's like rules for thee, not for me.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
And it's like he comes up, oh, he's a nasty person, fake news, all these nicknames, and then somebody goes is like, hey Don, seems like you're kind of being like a bitch or something, huh? And he's like, you're never gonna ask any more questions in this White House room ever again.
You know what? I'm gonna deport you. I'm a legal citizen. Yeah.
You think that's stopped me before? We're privately working with these foreign nations to build foreign prisons so that we can just deport our homegrown U.S. citizen bad people. We don't want them here.
This reminds me of I think I forget if it's an elective or not, but I think everybody should take a statistics class.
It's dangerous.
Only to realize how statistics work.
They won't.
Because I took statistics in high school, and beside the math aspect of it, because it was technically a math course, they were basically like, look, people will list statistics to back up their point.
Yeah.
Whether there's causation, correlation between the statistics is irrelevant at that point.
Yeah.
Because a lot in the news, people are like, oh, well, and this is no stance on immigration or anything, but from other people's mouths, they say, well, they're deporting these illegal immigrants who are criminals.
Yeah.
It's like, well, do you know that, immigrants commit, way less crimes than actual American citizens?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, because there's probably more American citizens than there are immigrants.
Yeah.
Right? So, of course, less people are going to commit less crimes.
But also, even in the framing of that, you can argue, well, yeah, but if we don't look at it as purely numbers, we look at it as a ratio. So there's 1 million immigrants. Per those 1 million immigrants, what percentage of people commit crimes? We'll say, I don't know, 10, right? So 10 in 1 million people are super, super bad. Okay. What percentage of the U.S. population, when you measure it at 1 million, is bad? And you might have 28. And so you're like, okay, well, there's less immigrants, so of course there's less crime. But that doesn't really carry water when you look at it as a ratio. And
that's the thing. That's the important thing when you hear anything online, which is a very important takeaway for anybody, where as soon as you hear something, listen to the words that are being said, not the message that are being pushed. Because when you hear, oh, do you know that more American citizens commit crimes than immigrants? It's like, that's not enough information.
I see that you're making a point. I'm not quite sure the shape of the rest of the object that you're talking about is, other than the fact that this point is all you're showing me.
Yeah.
Is it a triangle? Is it an octagon? Is it not even a fucking volume? Is it just two-dimensional? Spoiler alert, most likely.
Yeah.
Because even look at that, like, how do I put this? Information is just information. No, that's a bad place to start.
Information.
Yeah, that's a bad place.
I get behind that.
Everything is a representation of something else. Nothing is at face value by like isolated. Like we could talk about immigration crime, but we can't talk about immigration crime without talking about where those immigrants are coming from, because that plays a role.
Yeah.
We could talk about U.S. politics, but we can't really talk about U.S. politics without talking about the U.S. economical state, without talking about social media, without talking about, the state of the country, the state of public opinion, who's in office. Like, you can't...
Even from state to state.
Yeah.
That's a very, important thing to recognize. That we're such a big country, and a lot of the times, like, state to state, like the difference between state law and federal law is huge.
Yeah.
And like, Connecticut is in the same nation as California.
Yeah.
So that example, we have a lot of similar laws.
But you could say like Kentucky or Oregon.
Yeah.
Right.
Where it's like, oh, we're all Americans, but we live completely different cultural, economic,
We are we're more of like an empire. Like we're 50 individual countries kind of that all kind of pay heed to like the idea of the American project.
Yeah, like the American government is the emperor, if you will, and we're all different countries.
Yeah.
So like they hold law generally over the 50 states, where each state specifically takes power in.
I think
themselves.
I think it goes local laws. Oh man, I have no reason to talk. I don't know anything about this. So Mike, this is a vibes, feels, surface level, face value. There's no deeper analysis here. But my understanding is that state laws supersede federal laws, except for when they don't. Like so. For example,
that's helpful.
I know. Like I said, I should be talking about this. But like, you have a state minimum wage that is that supersedes the federal minimum wage. So like, you could have a minimum wage of $15 an hour, even though the federal minimum wage is like $7.58. But you can't have a minimum wage of like a state minimum wage of like $6 an hour, because it is lower than the federal.
Yeah.
And the federal is like the bar that you can't beat, so to speak.
Right.
And again, except for when it's not.
I mean, that kind of goes with like we were saying, the idea of like the governing body is more like the emperor, if you will, over these countries, because
Moderator.
Yeah, exactly. Because you have
I don't
like oh, here's the minimum pay.
Yeah.
But that's a guideline for everyone. You don't have to adhere to that, because a lot of different states have totally different economies. Where like, for example, in Connecticut, I think it's number 3 or number 5 most expensive state to live in.
I think it's number 2.
And then a lot of the southern states are very cheap. Yeah. Or like, some Midwestern, or where no one wants to be, it's cheaper. Or where nobody already is.
We're
like
high population.
Yeah, actually, because I'm doing a little research in Alaska. Depending on where you live in Alaska, they give you money.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's 2 wildly different economies for 2 states that are in the same country. Yeah. Totally separated from each other, like Alaska and Hawaii.
Miles, yeah.
But
it also speaks to like the kind of what you opened this with about like statistics and everything, where what's true here is not true there. And it's like you say, it's really expensive to live in Connecticut. You might have somebody who's like $70,000 a year in Connecticut is like bottom of middle class, probably struggling now, truthfully.
Yeah.
But you take that same person and that same wage and you move them to like, Louisiana, right? And not to take anything away from Louisiana, I love it there. But
have you been there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's really nice there. It's a little mucky a lot of the time.
Louisiana.
Well, Louisiana, home of the Crocodile Dundee and the water rafts. Not really.
I want to eat
But a fan on
crocodile or
that.
alligator.
It's like spicy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Little, not
it's
really spicy, but
it's just eating is so weird because it's like, oh yeah, we love to eat fish or we love to eat cows, we love to eat pigs.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, what about a lizard? Like, what if you live in the South and it's a big lizard? Sign me up.
Big old, or you could put a lizard on a stick and have it like a snack.
Yeah.
Like a churro.
I wonder how the bones are with
Crunchy.
lizards. I feel like there's some animals that are smaller where you could eat the whole thing.
Like chickens.
I don't think you can eat. No.
You can eat a chick.
But like bones and all.
Yeah.
Oh, that might fuck you up.
No, well, I mean, I
well, like
that's a new stipulation. That wasn't originally on the board. That it was just if you could eat it.
you could.
You could eat a lot. No, but they do things where it's like you just put a baby chicken and then you cook it as like one thing and then you eat the whole thing like an apple.
Yeah. I would. Well, yeah. So that's the difference of like a brand new bird, if you will, and an old bird.
A brand new bird. That's.
There is
You're
you ever watch the
brand new sheep.
You ever watch the show Hannibal?
Yeah.
Not the movie, but the first of all,
great show.
For the sick and twisted minded people, it is fantastic.
And yeah.
But there's a scene. I think it's illegal now, but it was like a French delicacy back in the day.
Okay.
Where you get a specific type of bird.
Yeah.
Similar to like a robin or like a small bird,
like a dove or a quill or something.
Quail? I think you like. I may be misremembering, but you like put it in a little chamber, and then you put like aerolized sherry or brandy.
Okay.
You get it drunk.
Okay.
And then you eat it alive. Something crazy shit like that. Like I can't remember the specifics, but
what the fuck?
I love this. I don't know how we got on this tangent, but
we were talking about
Louisiana.
Louisiana and alligators being spicy, and we ended up with eating drunk chickens alive.
That's another good example of how diverse the U.S. of A. is. Where I'm sure if you took a poll for like Connecticut citizens, like, would you eat an alligator?
Sure. Anyway.
We'll come right back to that, Bob. You
US,
fucking psycho.
USA. Sure. Anyway. Yeah, no, our president is great. He's a little weird, and sure. Anyway.
That is mainstream media, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we're gonna talk to a random citizen on the street. It's like, well, I think I am back to you in the studio, Bob.
Yeah, you don't think that's the problem. That's the problem. Well, that is the problem. You know, especially these days.
I think.
Yeah, like what was I watching? This probably won't mean anything to a lot of you, but there was a video debate. There was like this, I don't know, pretty well known video host, I guess. Sean Carroll. Doesn't matter. These one scientist and one proto-scientist, kind of like more creative thinker person, got on a TV show, and one of them was like, the academic institutions are all corrupt, and the other one is like, I agree with you, but you're not like spouting any information that's new. And the guy's like, well, that's because you haven't read the paper. And the other guy's like, I have read the paper. And he's like, well, what's up then? And the other guy's like, listen, we're here because you have a problem, you know? The interesting thing though is like they're both titans in their perspective, like
fields.
Well, kind of. What they do, they're really, really good at it.
Right.
But because they're they're taking off from like a totally different foundation, as they should be, because they come from very different backgrounds and different like inflection points in their lives, but they end up butting heads instead of kind of like trying to meld minds, right? One of them is super, super set in the established like hegemony, right? And the other one is like, yeah, but you're built on a foundation of lies. And they're both right, but they're also both wrong. And they don't seem to have that open-mindedness, that ability to think beyond what you perceive to be the box.
Like they don't have any give to them. Or like, I'm not open to changing my mindset. I'm just trying to change yours.
yes, but and I don't even think it's that optimistic. Like I think one of them. I think it's like you haven't made the best choices about how you are presenting yourself. Because of that, it influences how I view what you do. Because of that, even if what you do does have some quality to it, because it's so baked into the archetype of the individual, you don't even see it. Like you're not able to perceive that point, if you will,
right?
Because it's hidden behind so many layers of perspective and perception, which is a shame. But I mean, it's a human condition.
I mean, yeah, I was going to say that's the barrier everyone has to kind of break through. And I've said this numerous times, where it is fascinating how people come into the world so certain that they're right. I always think it's just so fascinating where, like, you'll have a kid.
Yep.
They start to be able to form coherent sentences.
Yep.
And all of a sudden they think they know more than their parent.
Well,
and it's like, Mommy, look, a kitty. It's like, no, sweetheart, that's a horse. No, it's a kitty cat. It's like, what are you talking? You just got here like a year ago.
And you're already so confident you can talk.
And like, some people carry that through their whole life.
Yeah.
And the frustrating part is when people make a career out of it.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what we're doing here.
Yeah, but I was going to say this before because you mentioned it, which I feel like if I was a viewer, I'd be so refreshed to hear like, oh, look, I have absolutely no right to talk about this, but I'm going to anyways.
Yeah.
As opposed to so many podcasts.
Where they just... Well, because my issue with that is, like, I'm the kind of person that just... My natural... The way that I talk, I sound like I know what I'm talking about, even if I've got no idea. And it's not something I do on purpose. That's just how I talk.
I think it's a confidence thing too.
Yeah,
where like that's how you vocalize it. Like it doesn't mean that's like how you kind of think about it. You know what I mean? Like you're conveying a point that you're confident about, but you aren't convinced yourself that like I'm absolutely right. I'm
not confident in the point. I'm confident in my explanation of how I understand the point.
Yeah, exactly.
And that can get misconstrued. So I can be like, when I said something last week that was wrong, and it was I called it a transistor, but it wasn't. It was, I think, an inverter, where it turned. No, I was trying to describe the transistor as an inverter. Where he was like, well, what does that even do? And I was like, oh, well, it takes like DC current and then it makes an AC current, and that's not what a transistor does.
And I was like, good to know.
Okay. No, but a transistor is not that. It does like other stuff that
it transits.
I don't know because I'm not a person that would know that, right?
Yeah.
And so that's to say, like, I speak very confidently from a place of no confidence.
See, you could be a politician. Because
I would
that
want
is
to.
all it takes.
Yeah.
And I haven't done enough looking into it, but
I would use the power for bad. I'd show you how to get shit done, and I'll leave it at that. How about that?
Yeah, I would have very stern policies. But as long as you appear confident, people will not look into it at all. Like with Kennedy, where he. So he what is his position? He's like the
who? Which one?
The Kennedy who's in the cabinet.
Oh, medical dude. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the whatever. I don't know his position.
I think he's like
care enough.
In charge of medical.
He's like the health department head or something.
I don't know.
But he has.
We should probably know this. We don't.
Again, I have no right talking about this. But this is the thing because
we have the right to talk about it. We should not be taken seriously.
Disclaimer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the thing where people will learn about stuff that they don't get the full picture of.
I'm gonna sneeze.
And then God bless you in advance.
You. Yeah. Go ahead.
In nomine Padre Spiritus Sancto.
Keep going.
You just fucking light on fire.
Yeah.
People are being spoon-fed information when they aren't like versed in that like field at all.
Yeah.
So like when people hear anything about politics where it's like, oh, we're doing this kind of reform or oh, we're changing these laws, and all you hear is that whatever information you're being spoon-fed, like the title of it.
Yeah.
And people will then, for some odd reason, like just full stop right there and like, oh, I agree with this. but like you don't understand the policy.
You don't even know what you're agreeing with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when what's his name? The Kennedy in office. I'll just keep saying it. Is it Robert?
I think it's RFK Jr.
Whatever. That guy. We all know who that guy with the fucking worm in his head.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any like prior criteria.
Well, I think he was like saying vaccines cause autism for a while.
Yeah, exactly. His criteria.
That's criteria. It's not criteria 4, but it's certainly criteria. Yeah.
But
it's
like
just data.
And this is my thing. Like like you're getting the information from your algorithm.
Right.
So if you're like a diehard Democrat, you're probably going to receive a lot of pro-democratic information.
Yeah.
I am in the middle, so like my algorithm is full of idiots on either side saying how stupid the other side is.
Right, right.
But then people will, when I believe people is when they start citing information and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, now I'm like 75% on your side because that 25% is not doing my own research.
Yeah. And I was going to say, even that when they're citing the papers, you have to actually, like, if you really want to be grounded, you actually have to go into those cited papers and read them.
Exactly.
And what it really is good is go to those cited papers, find the citations on that, and just go all the way back.
Yeah. That's why they're there. So the person who is viewing it can follow all the leads to the end.
And that's how you understand something. It's the same way when you were in school and you're learning about math. You don't start learning about like geometry or trigonometry. Like you start with what is 1? What is 1 and 1 again? 2. What is 2? Right? They don't go, oh well, if you make a base 6 counting system, then the prime is 11. It equals 7 as 11 because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11. I'm not even bullshitting. That's how it works. Primes work. Primes are primes irregardless of base number system. So you're like, okay, cool. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Yeah, of course not. You don't have the foundation to build on.
Yeah.
It's like you forget building on a house of sand. You're building on air, wondering why nothing is floating.
Yeah. I mean, it is like you're trying to build a house, like, hey, here's wood. Yeah. You could build a structure, but what about the foundation?
Yeah.
What about like the leveling?
Who cares?
What about exactly.
What do you need?
But that's definitely a good like metaphor, I guess you can say, for people receiving any kind of information on social media.
Yeah.
Or it's like, hey, like vaccine cause autism. Like here's the wood for your house.
Yeah.
It's like I'm going to base my entire personality off of that information. It's
and
like you have no fucking pot to piss in.
Yeah, you know? So to speak. And what's crazy too for that specific is like you're gonna make something that is quite literally gonna either kill you or your family or your kids or the kids of others, and you're gonna do that without even thinking about it because of one core assumption that is not grounded.
That's like
it's crazy.
That just reminds me how like for lack of a better term, pampered like first world citizens are.
Yeah. Because
when you said that, I thought of when like the power would go down during like a snowstorm, for example, and some dumb fuck who is like the provider of their family is like, it's cold inside, we have no power. You know what I'll do? I'll bring in the generator and I'll heat it up. I'll heat up the house. So I'll bring the generator in the house and I'll start it. And
they fucking just gas
the next morning,
whole family.
Everyone's dead.
Jesus.
That happens.
I know, man. I know it.
Because, again, like, generator equal heat. Heat. Must heat house. It's like, first before that, understand how a generator works.
No. Well, do you know how your phone works?
Fuck no.
All right. Do you know how your car works?
Yes. Yeah.
You could build your car from scratch?
No.
Okay. So you don't know how your car works. Like you know how your car works.
I'll pull up a YouTube video that'll tell me how to build a car.
But see, that's the catch. Like, I was listening to a quote and it was like every scientist thinks that everybody else is stupid, right? But every scientist is just as stupid as everybody else at anything outside of their field.
Yeah.
So you're like Nobel Prize winning, laureate awarded mathematician is a fucking idiot at number or at a color theory, right? And not necessarily all the time, but as a rule, like your psychologist that understands like, you know, Jungian symbology and all these like archetypical representations of the human subconscious is a fucking idiot at mechanical science.
Yeah.
It like doesn't understand how you can like store tension in the crystalline lattice of the metal structure to get it to be like highly responsive like a ball bearing. Like doesn't have any fucking idea how it even works. And then you get the people like me that can kind of see the surface level of a bunch of this kind of stuff. And that lets me get like patterns that I can kind of match it from different fields and domains. But if you actually ask me like detailed questions about a lot of this stuff, my best guess is like give me like 2 or 3 weeks to go figure out all the nuance and I'll come back to you.
And that's so important because people don't find the need to do that.
Because people are stupid.
And then they get butt hurt.
They're dumb. They're dumb. Don't be dumb. We are all stupid.
Yeah.
But you can't be dumb.
I don't know. I'm sure I mentioned this in an earlier episode, but that's why, like, I have tattoos. I don't think of a lot of quotes I want to get.
Yeah.
But there's one that I definitely will get, and that's from the Greek philosopher was like, "I'm the smartest man in Greece because I know that I know nothing."
Socrates, I think.
That like.
Socrates.
Everyone should live by that.
Yeah.
And you can turn it into a positive. So like, you know, all the Alpha Bro podcasts and like Sigma male like classes.
Yeah. Classes.
Where that's based. Oh yeah, people make money off that shit. That's
I gotta start making money
Andrew
off
Tate.
that
That's
shit.
his whole thing.
I don't want to. Never mind. I don't want to be associated with.
No. But so there's men who, as far as society tells them, aren't good at being a man.
Sure.
I think one thing with all those classes and Alpha Bro bullshit is like confidence, right? They're trying to boost your confidence. So if we can use the whole I am smart because I know nothing kind of thing.
Sure.
And twist it into like a confidence, whether you're male or female.
Okay.
Is you as an individual are always better than someone, but you're also less than somebody else at any given time.
Okay, Okay, I see what you're saying, and I don't like it.
Okay.
Well, let me. It's not that I don't like it.
How fucking dare you? I am a genius.
I'm a fucking genius.
Go ahead.
Like the way that I think about that is, and again, push back on whatever you feel.
Push you?
Don't do it. No. Is that like we really shouldn't compare ourselves to other people. Like, so I think it was Einstein. It was like, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it'll always think it's stupid, or it'll live its life thinking it's stupid.
Yeah.
Believing it's stupid, whatever. And like, I feel like that's the case for everything. End statement. Like, if you judge a pencil on its ability to fly a plane, you're never going to want a pencil. But you're not using the pencil for the right thing. Like, if you try to use a calculator to draw a straight line, it's like, well, that's not really what a calculator is used for.
Yeah. Well,
you could do it.
You could. I mean, a
Right.
straight line.
You could do it. You could do it. That's kind of like the point here is like the idea that there is a right and wrong way to do something is a trap.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Where you have to look at both sides, and that's where the confidence kind of positive aspect comes.
Sure.
Where if you take the pencil thing, if you judge a pencil solely on its ability to, I don't know, be used as a pry bar.
Yeah, sure.
Then to you the pencil is worthless. But if you use the pencil to write, oh my god, this is perfectly suited for it.
And you could use the pencil to write the letter to the guy that has the pry bar to give you the pry bar.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
the pencil is mightier than the crowbar.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. You like anything through life, you have to look at both sides because everything is double-sided. Right?
Everything is a representation of something else.
Exactly. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Was that also Einstein? Do I sound smart yet?
The smartest, huh, fellows? Ladies?
Hi, ladies.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's how I kind of boost. I mean, you know, I go to therapy, and one of the things is positive self-talk.
Yeah.
Where basically you be your own hype man. And that's what you can do. Be like, oh, this guy's funnier than me, or this guy's more attractive than me. Hey, but I'm probably better at him at mathematics
Yeah.
than he is, you know.
And so I should go up and piss on his shoes.
Yes, exactly. It's a dominance thing.
It's a dominance thing.
He'll understand. He'll be like, ooh, I'm sorry. Here, have my girlfriend.
Oh.
But that's that, like, all this alpha bro bullshit where it's like, you gotta be a man, and women are subservient, and this, that, the other thing, and money, and bullshit, right?
Yeah.
If you have to find confidence in putting other people down, you're a dickhead.
Well, it's not confidence.
Well,
It's domination. Like you can get confidence from that action.
That's a good point.
But in itself, it's not confidence. Like if you think about confidence as a state of being, as an action, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, just feel confident. You don't feel confident. You behave confidently.
Yeah.
Like you act in confidence.
Fake it till you make it.
Well, that's kind of why it works, right?
Yeah.
Like we have this mythos, this idea of confidence is like, I feel it, I embody it, I am it. And it's like on some level that's true, but it's only true because it's how you are acting. Like you feel confident because you're acting confidently. And if you don't act confidently, you don't feel confident. And they run into a language issue because you're like, well, I could be confidently acting inconfident, but you're still acting confidently, even as you come across. So it's tricky.
Coming back to language, there is the language of emotions, right? Which is similar to the whole thought experiment of like, oh, look, that color's black, but my black and your black might be different, but the designation of that color is black.
The communicated understanding.
It's the same thing with emotion. Like I remember, again, like being in a lot of like mental health situations when I was younger. I didn't learn what anxiety was until I was like a teenager. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's that feeling? Yeah. Yes, I have that. So confidence is so ambiguous. Yeah. Because like, is it a feeling? Is it like a genuine sense of being confident? Yeah. Like, and how do you even, like, what's the definition of confidence? Is it like a positive, like, reflection of yourself?
I think I think it's actually something about how other people perceive you. Like, it's kind of like art in that sense of like the artist doesn't declare their art. The viewer, the experiencer declares it art. Yeah. You know, like I don't know, something stupid, like get an axe, hit a tree with it. It doesn't cut it. The axe head breaks. It stays in the tree. 10 years pass. All that stuff is like a little bar sticking out of the side. Someone comes along and takes a picture, and it's like, look, art in nature. And you're like, no, some dude just fucked up like 10 years ago and like left. And like this is what's left. And you're able to get an emotional state from that. That emotional state creates the idea this is an artistic representation. Yeah. Like there's beauty in this somehow, you know.
Could you say that our confidence is like almost a societal construct?
No, I think it's an action. Like I think it's a state of. I think it's like a being. It's like an operating.
But it could be dependent on what society. Right?
Probably. I mean, because, everything can be.
I mean,
if it's based on perception, yes.
This is a good opportunity. Flip that over.
Yes. Why nerd bad?
That's actually that is perfectly relevant to the question. Yeah. Because and the reason I came up with that was because like when we're growing up, like TV shows and shit like that, where it's like, oh, look at the nerd, he's good at reading and math, and ha ha loser. That's weird, right? Like you're excelling in an intellectual field, and you're like a nerd.
Yeah, but like my opinion here is mixed, because I don't want to. How do I put this? People can get stronger. They can train their bodies to get stronger. They can train their tendons and their bodies, I guess, to be faster. Right? You can pick things up. You can run. You can get healthy. But like, you can't really get smarter. Like you can learn how to think, and you can learn how to use your mind in better ways. But like, for example, some people just really have a tough time understanding computers, right? Because there's just so much going on. There's so much like external stimuli. You have to understand a bunch of independent things at the same time, and you have to hold all this kind of in concert. that's really hard to do if your brain just doesn't have that capacity. Like,
Could you relate this to like IQ?
I'm hesitant to, but yeah,
Like that's the one metric that we kind of have.
well, think about it. Well, I mean, there's more, but like if we were to take IQ as a very, very poor approximation, right? And it's just let's only use IQ to have a language to talk about the idea of people having different levels of intelligence. We'll do that. So if you have like your average IQ, we'll call that 100, right? Top of the bell curve. Well, that's really scary because the IQ of 100 is like
Dumb.
not yeah. I mean, kind of like, and again, an important thing to remember is that we're just like animals. We're just like meat suits, and we think we're really special because we have the ability to remember things and talk about it out loud, and that kind of lets us keep this like continuity of things where, hey, I've discovered that stuff falls down. Let me write that in a book. So now the next generation comes into it knowing that things fall down.
Things fall down.
Let me write that in a book. And it's like, oh, I could take two things of different size or of different weights, but of similar size and drop them and they fall at the same speed. That's interesting. So the weight doesn't affect the speed that it falls. The dimensions do. That's interesting. I should write that down. And then things happen.
And then you go to the church, and the church is like, no new information, kill him.
Well, yeah. I mean, sometimes.
There have been instances.
There have been instances, yes. But which is just the point of saying that, like, we think that we're special because of who we are and where we are. And it is true that we're not like any other generation generation of people. But that's only true because we came after that generation of people.
Right.
And it's like, it's very much a, like on the shoulders of giants type thing.
Yeah.
And so you have a population of 100 where here's a great one. If you're not taught how to read, you just aren't literate. And you're like, duh. But also every single person in the first world countries that we live in knows how to read. We take it for granted. But like, it's not that's not the norm. That's not the default state. Like, people aren't coming. Everybody knows how to tread water when they're born. Nobody knows how to read.
Do you think a default would be language?
But even language is default. You have wild children that are like just abandoned at birth or ferals, yeah. And they don't have a default language. They have a language network, right?
So they can communicate.
Communication, but cats communicate. True. Animals can communicate. Some can communicate using words, like whales and dolphins and some types of birds.
Yeah, like the equivalent of words. Well,
no, I literally mean words. Like words.
Whales and...
Yeah, they have names, they talk to each other, they have words.
Well, that's what I mean, like words, but not how like an average person would think of words. Specific communicate. Yeah.
You should. So if you think about what a word is, like what is language?
Letters.
What is spoken language? No. It's just vibrations. Sounds is vibratory sounds. So we associate. They're called. I think they're called phonemes. So like right?
Yeah.
It's a sound produced by the body and that is associated with meaning. So you lump like t, k, o, a taco, right? So that's like 4 different individual sounds.
It's a good callback.
Yep. It's 4 individual sounds. Okay, and so you get like a meaning from that. It emerges from the individual sounds understood by the speaker. If you don't understand that those sounds have meaning, they're just noise.
Yeah.
So whales have their sonar. They sing, and they did a. Just keep going. Just keep swimming. But they've had these new AI systems that can listen to like the whales every day, correlate patterns, and then when you test it out, they're able to like. So in the specific example that I'm thinking of, they found a pod of whales. They figured out that they have kind of like this call that they repeat when they enter into the group. So like, let's say they go out and they get food or whatever. When they re-homogenize, they all kind of like call out a unique sound.
Teddy.
Exactly.
Jerome.
I'm Leroy.
Like Pokemon.
Kind of, yeah. But they announced themselves, right? So what they did is they
present. Here.
is that they thought that they identified the name of one of these whales, and so they started playing it, and that whale just started like coming at it, and it was like they were like, "Hello!" It's like, "I'm Jeffrey." No, I'm Jeffrey. I'm Jeffrey. No, I'm Jeffrey.
I mean, that is interesting because like dogs, I think to a certain extent, some cats, birds, like pets that have been or animals that have been domesticated, but then you look at totally undomesticated animals, and they also have some kind of like recognition.
But it goes all the way down, and it's all about different like, if you were an ant or a bee, it would be like pheromones.
Buzz, buzz, buzz.
Little Dancy.
Every name is Buzz.
Every name is Buzz Lightyear, Buzz Flower Year, Buzz Over Here.
Buzz, 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 buzz. Bo, 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 bo.
Remember
that show? Good
exactly.
Show.
It's a good show. It's a good show. Cats, they do body language, they do sounds, they do like ear flickering.
Yeah.
They do.
Cats are interesting because apparently meowing is to communicate just with humans.
Humans, yeah.
Cats don't meow with each other, so there's an interspecial.
Yeah.
But I know this has been a tangent, but to bring it back to how that connects to confidence.
It's because people are intimidated by things that they're not able to do. And I mean that both ways, not just not intellectually.
And that's a good point. Like, I like to hold myself to the kind of intellectual characteristic of not being intimidated by not knowing something, which kind of opens up the well to then know the things you don't know.
Yeah.
Because people will react to, oh, you're making me feel stupid. Now I'm going to react with aggression.
Yeah.
So there's, it's
not their
full
fault.
stop right there.
It's not
You're
their
not
fault, though.
learning anything.
It's not their fault, though, because people react to that type of stimulus the same way they react to physical aggression.
Like a fight or flight thing.
Exactly, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, and that's why if you argue with people that are like really, really, really set in their belief systems,
they'll kill you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they literally take you.
It's like an intellectual threat.
Yeah, but like a physical life or death threat, because the brain doesn't understand the difference between like a physical threat and like a mental threat. It just understands that you're perceiving a threat.
That is so crazy.
It's utterly insane. Like, that's why you go to like the super we'll go with politically radicalized events, and like they will literally fucking beat somebody up just for saying something they disagree with, because what they said that disagrees with their core beliefs to them feels like they're literally being assaulted, like punched in the face.
The
adrenaline
entire way I run my life is now being attacked.
Yeah. So and because because they don't have the training to like breathe, count to 5, count to 10, understand that perspective.
Yeah, you have that is a very important characteristic to have as a human, where you have to react to your initial reactions.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
It does.
I'm angry. Hang on.
Why
am I angry? Am I justified if I'm about to attack this person?
Yeah. They don't think about it. It's too deep. And so that's why nerd is bad. Like if you can't get past I think about it in terms of layers. You have your reactive layer. This is the part that you see a snake while you're walking on a trail and you're like, whoa, what the fuck? Like there's no thinking involved. It's pure just body reacting.
I gotta get out of here.
I gotta leave.
Where are you going?
Your fight or flight. This is like, dodge the ball whipped at your head from the corner of your eye. This is like, there's no active thought. This is like, you just said something I don't like, I'm going to punch you, right? No thought about what happens next.
No, the Mets are the best.
Yeah. Boom! Right?
And you get a fucking assault charge.
But then you get like underneath that, and you're kind of aware of what's going on, and but you're still not like self-aware.
Right.
Like you recognize now that there's other, but you don't quite recognize yourself in the other. If you were to use like, you ever see those videos where they go out in the woods with a mirror and like they put a mark on one of the animals and they test to see if the animal recognizes itself by rubbing the mark away? Right?
I've seen it where it's just there's a mirror out in the wilderness.
Sure.
I haven't seen that extent of it, but makes sense.
Well, it's a way to like try and figure out whether or not they have a sense of self.
Right.
Which is wild because that's like an understand, like a state of being and whatever. Like you have an internal self-awareness is crazy. Anyway, tangents aside, you have that kind of ability to perceive yourself in the environment, and also like that there is an environment around you. It's not just reaction, it's also kind of like you're making decisions.
Yeah.
And then you go and layer beneath that, and you're like, okay, I'm in this situation and they're in this situation. Let's take a look at the situation, right? You said something, I said something, but now let's look at the dynamic between it. Stop thinking about it as me and Elder. Start thinking about it as us here.
Mm-hmm.
You go underneath that, and you have like the ability to perceive multiple different variations of the situation that you're in. Mm-hmm. So like you said something to me. Do I want to respond positively or negatively? Do I want to pause and take another breath? Do I want to veer this tangent, that tangent? And you know, and it just keeps going. And the deeper you go, the more this happens, because you stop being able to predict the other person.
Yeah.
Like, which I think honestly probably plays a really big part of why there's such a strong visceral reaction, is if I can't comprehend why you're acting the way that you're acting, I'm going to naturally view you as a danger because I can't predict you.
So if I could put on my tinfoil hat for a moment here.
Go ahead. We should get those.
Two related, yeah. I'll fabricate a aluminum hat that looks like tinfoil.
It'd be funny.
If I can link this to why nerd bad.
Yeah.
I have my tinfoil hat on. There's a conspiracy theory, or really it's less conspiracy because it's just way too truthful.
Sure.
But you keep the population dumb and like animalistic, if you will, in the way of, oh, I'm feeling threatened intellectually, so now I'm going to react viscerally.
Divide and conquer.
So, if nerd bad, many stupid.
Yeah.
If many stupid, government do whatever government want.
Yeah. Well, that's like
so
Orwellian.
You put through the media, or it's all subliminal stuff where you consume a show, or you consume a story, and it's like, oh, being the nerd is negative, and you're gonna get bullied, and this, that, the other thing. So no one's gonna want to be an intellectual.
Yeah.
And I bring this up specifically because I was thinking, wouldn't it be wise to have a class about critical thinking where it's like, hey kids, so we are animals, but as intellectual animals, we owe it to ourselves and our society to rise above our natural animalistic impulses. But they would never want that class, because then people would be free thinkers, and then they might realize that the world they're living in fucking sucks eggs.
Yeah. But yeah, and it's like, man, yeah. It's tough because like we can talk about it, but then you have to talk about, as like I said before, you can't look at anything in isolation.
Yeah.
Like, why, for example, why are the school systems the way that they are currently? Like, when did that come about?
As far as the history of this country, fairly recently, I think.
I think it was like they were making 60s. Like the Rockefellers. Like they wanted to create an institution where they could train the next generation of line workers. So they made you sit in these rooms where you sat still and just did what you were told. When the time was up, the bell went off, you would go to the next stage. You do your thing, do what you're told, right? And so by the time that you're leaving your workforce, you know what to do. You have the timing ingrained. Like, we can just play the alarm, everybody goes to the next stage. Like, it's just smooth, it's orderly, it's efficient.
It's very, who's the dog trainer or psychologist thing?
The dog was...
He's the one who, like, trained dogs to salivate at the sound of a bell.
Oh, Pavlov?
Yes.
Pavlov?
I believe so.
Yeah.
So that's very Pavlovian, where it's like, oh, I hear a bell, it's time to go to the next station and, start
that's
stamping
exactly what
license plates.
It's exactly what it is, yeah.
Yeah, and that's similar to the whole, I believe it was a Ford who kind of set the standard for 40-hour work weeks.
Harrison Ford with his
I don't think it was Harrison.
It wasn't Harrison Ford?
It was a Ford, but when I hear Harrison Ford, I just think the actor. But okay. It was a Ford.
Whatever, close enough. Again, don't know enough about this to. You good?
Yeah. But yeah, it's
kind of weird
stuff like that where you start, and this is where like the hopelessness kind of comes in.
Yeah.
When you dig deeper into society, where it's like, oh my God, these things have been going on for generations. How am I supposed to break out of this?
Well,
Kind of like, and actually to bring this full circle, back to what we were talking about at the beginning with Trump and the government and how it's a fucking clown show.
Yeah.
I do get a sense of relief when I take in a lot of information because something bad will be happening. For example, so at the beginning of this presidency, some people like some citizens were like, "Oh my God, it's going to be Nazi Germany again," and to that, initially I'm like, "Oh my fucking God, it's possible."
Yeah.
But then I see the people counteracting horrible legislation, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, it's not the end of the world."
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying.
It could be.
That's an optimistic perspective.
Yeah, it exactly. But it is reassuring to know that somebody is fighting the good fight.
Yeah.
Kind of. I saw yesterday on. I've mentioned Chris Gesagt before.
Sure.
So you know Chris Gesagt.
Yeah.
There's a YouTube channel. Shout out to them. I feel silly shouting out a YouTube channel when we
don't have a YouTube channel.
Barely are.
What's good, bro?
But
shout out to them.
I trust them as much as I trust any like source of information.
Yeah.
But they recently posted a video on the ozone layer debacle. So like I think it was 87, scientists noticed this giant hole in the ozone.
Yeah.
And now by 2025, it has lessened enough where it's not so much of a crisis. So there was an issue.
But why?
Well, that was actually because I believe it was France started a legislation to have this like unification of several countries to then act upon.
They made the steps necessary because it was severe.
It was a danger.
Yeah.
Which I think there's also been like the countdown clock on like water access or like the amount of drinkable water.
Yeah. Another severe.
And that's the thing. Like, I'm not saying it's not going to be cataclysmic, but I am saying I feel a little bit better when I see people fighting the fight.
Making an effort. Yeah. No, I would agree with that.
But that doesn't necessarily take away the fucking fear and hopelessness where it's like, oh, we're polluting the world and we're polluting the atmosphere with debris and trash.
Yeah. And orbit. We're polluting orbit.
And it's kind of like, ooh, it's been going on for that long?
Ooh, it's bad. Ooh, it's real bad.
I want to help, but Jesus, can I?
Yeah.
That kind of mentality where...
We can't think about it that way, though.
No.
Like, I agree with you 100%, and I also think about it that way, but, like, I also can't think about it that way.
Because you can't... If everyone ignored it, it's like, oh, someone will do it. It's the bystander effect.
No one's going to do it. Exactly, yeah.
Which is terrifying.
And even though the crazy thing, too, especially, like, these days, look at the House just passed the big, beautiful bill of Trump's or whatever.
Big, beautiful bill.
And it's like...
China.
It's like... you know, the Orwellian concept of like doublespeak, where I'm gonna corrupt a language, the words in the language, so that I can say one thing and mean another, and you can't really understand what's what. And you know, in the beginning, it was like, well, he doesn't actually mean any of this. He's just saying it like to be funny or ironically, like he's not serious. But he is. But he is serious, and it's like. And you could, and again, this isn't casting. I'm not making a judgment. Like, you know, I'm not saying one way or another if what he's being serious or not unserious about is good or bad. But the fact remains that even though he's not being serious, he's taking those actions. He's, you know, no one's gonna actually shut down the Department of Education, right? Like, come on, we're gonna just like rework it so it's not as corrupt, and like he's not gonna just unilaterally destroy the whole thing. Well, he said he was, and then he did. So is he being serious or is he not being serious?
It's also who the message is meant for.
Well,
or like,
for example, exactly just that. Did you know that he was, I think he either was working on an executive order or was like introducing a bill or something about like people being overly critical of Christianity or like...
he was like making this division to attack people who are like anti-Christian.
Exactly, yeah. Like, that's crazy. That's fucking bonkers.
And again, I will say, personally, I don't even know if this is a real thing. I saw it as a headline, and I'm like, that's fucking crazy.
That's fucking
and then
crazy.
I kept scrolling.
Yeah.
So
But that's a bias thing. Like if you're in the Trump ecosystem, that is something that you're immediately aware of. You're like, fuck yeah, this is great.
Yeah, if you're in the Trump ecosystem and you're Christian,
yeah,
and you're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So that message wasn't meant for me because I hear it and I'm like, that sounds a little outlandish.
Yeah.
Keep going.
That
and these people are like,
First Amendment
hell
rights.
yeah, brother.
Stupid. Yeah. And like,
and I'm not attacking Christianity. I'm just attacking the assholes who happen to be Christian.
They corrupt and supplant the idea. Yeah. It's sad. Like, I don't know. And to your point, it's like you can't like sit in it and stew because you're just one person. You can't like, the systems are what they are. And it's like, we can, to take it to like an extreme layer, you know, the only way to get around this kind of stuff is to just wipe it all out. Just unilaterally. Just no more.
Scorched earth?
Yeah. But like you kind of, to an extent, like you have to. The same way that if you have a limb that is infected in a disease, like do you sacrifice the whole body or do you get rid of the limb?
Depends on your beliefs.
Exactly.
I'm not, that's...
Exactly.
It's...
Exactly.
And this is the bizarre thing about being human, where we have such a strong belief system, but it's not a unilateral belief system.
Yeah.
You grab 10 people randomly in the States. Because I feel like the USA is a pretty good standard for diversity. At least the first thing that comes to mind. Because I think of some countries like...
homogenous.
What's the majority citizen in Sweden?
Yeah.
Swedish.
Swedish. I got you.
But that's beside the point. But if you take 10 random people from all over the country, and you're like, hey, what's your like religious denomination?
You'll get 10 different
There's a good chance you get 10 different. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And if you say like, oh well, what is your view on like medicine?
Sure.
For example.
You get 10 different answers.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like, maybe 5 will say, oh, if I have a necrotic limb, chop it off. And the other 5 is like, if I have a necrotic limb, I'm probably meant to die, so I'm going to go ahead and just coast right through.
Or just give me some meds or something.
Yeah. Well,
you won't understand the severity.
Now, people will correct me in the comments, and you're free to do so, but I believe Bob Marley died because he had an infection, but his religion basically, like, didn't allow him to have medicine or something like that.
I don't know.
Now, whether that's true or false, regardless, but there are cultures that
do that,
maybe it's like a Western medicine thing, but regardless, they won't fix it because of their faith system.
Yeah.
And that is such a hard bridge to gap when you have a country of varying different ideology and morality and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you try to pass a bill, because when you do that, it's only applying to the people that you are directing the bill towards.
Yeah, and kind of in that same direction. That's why it's so like that's why it's not easy to talk about this kind of thing, especially like nowadays where they lump 1,000 different bills into one bill, and so it's like you don't even know what you're voting on.
Yes.
And also you have to make legislation from like a top down, but. And again, it ties into what we were talking about earlier, where in Connecticut we make X amount of money, and in,
Louisiana.
Yeah, in Louisiana you make X amount of money. And it's like, so if you're going to create something like a welfare system at the federal level, it needs to be so dynamic that it can account for these types of state by state. But if you make it so dynamic that it can account state by state, then the legislature isn't going to have any teeth, because it has to have all these regulations and checks and balances, and it's like and then on top of that it has to get voted in, and it has to get passed, and then it has to get followed, and then you have to it's just a mess. Just a mess.
Maybe that's the future of our country, whether it's through civil war or not. We split into like 4 different countries.
You know what's crazy? I think that so with the AI technology is really, really getting out there. And recently they created something called, I think it's VO3 with Google Gemini.
Yeah.
And it's able to create videos that are just about...
damn near indiscernible.
Yeah. And it's to the point now where me personally, if it's on the internet, whether it's an image, whether it's a video, I know that I can't trust it.
Same.
Like,
yep.
like, and I know that because I know how easy, like, I can make it. I know how easy it is to fabricate this stuff. And, like, directly, like, I can, I could turn this entire, like, set here and make it whatever I want. Us in the video, I can make whatever we want. I can make us say whatever we want, right?
Jeez.
Yeah.
The ramifications are...
Yeah, but so then what happens? So then we go back to the why nerd bad question, where there's a subset of the population that cannot grasp the idea that these videos might not be real, right? Of course they're real. I'm watching it. I saw it happen with my own eyes, right?
I saw the baby. He had a podcast.
I watched it.
He can't talk, Grandma.
He was talking to Jesus. I saw Jesus came down from heaven, sat on the chair, and spoke with this baby. It was crazy.
See,
right?
and now, relating this back to politics.
Yeah, yep.
Those are the people running the country.
That's what I'm getting into.
Uh-huh.
Okay, is because those people are. What happens is you either are in or you're out, right?
And they're out.
And well, they're in their own little system. And so you might have 90% of the population that goes, well, obviously these videos are fake. Like, Jesus did not come from the heaven and talk to a baby. Obviously, look. There's a watermark right there. There's a watermark right there.
Jesus doesn't have 8 fingers.
That 10% though, they don't listen. They think that they're right, and in fact, they know that they're right. They saw it with their own eyes.
Oh, Icarus, you have flown too close to the sun.
And so, yeah, honestly. And so, what ends up happening is you get these further and further spread of what is real or not real, and this population here becomes radicalized.
Yeah.
And they're also the loudest, and they're also the dumbest, and they're also the most extreme.
Yeah.
And you're like, shit.
I think extremists is a good way to kind of like encapsulate the whole thing, because I am not, even in my day-to-day, I'm not 100% into anything. Like, I have a lot of hobbies. I kind of float around job-wise, politics. I'm not one way or the other. So kind of my say in this world is irrelevant, because I'm not going to fight like tooth and nail for one side, because I'm kind of fluid all the way around.
Sure. As
opposed to the people who are diehard Democrat and diehard Republican. Those ones are the ones fighting the war with each other.
I think that they are just as significant as you, though.
At a base level, but I'm probably not going as far as they will, because I'm not extreme in my kind of carry through of my beliefs.
This is like the statistic thing we started with, where you're right in the sense that they're going to put more energy into that particular end goal, but at the end of the day, you both get one vote.
Well, yeah, true. But then you kind of factor in, like, am I going to vote?
Am I going to vote? And also, did they influence others to vote as well?
Yeah, and how many people...
Yeah.
Like, you see in the Trump administration, where people voted for him, and then 50 days in office, they're like, I made a mistake. It's like, gee, did you not look into who you were voting for?
Well, how many people... I mean, even just in our own group, like, how many people that voted for Trump and didn't read Project 2025?
Yeah. Which is crazy, because...
I think I'm the only one who read the fucking thing.
Here's all the information.
Yeah. We're going to shut down the Department of Education. We're going to bring in a private individual and give them unilateral authority over our military armed forces. And then we're going to use that military authority to round up the illegal immigrants and export them in mass.
Yeah.
Well, shit. That sounds a lot like ICE, doesn't it?
And like you were saying, the more I learn about the political and legislative and justice systems, like I've said so many times to so many people, if there is a system in America, it's probably a fucked up system. The prison system, like everything.
But why?
Because like the more I look into like legislation, like passing bills and stuff, they'll have this 150 word document or page document. And they'll just throw random shit in there.
Yeah.
That's not related to like the overall, like the overarching theme.
Yeah.
Where like recently, blue collar people get excited because they're not going to tax overtime. Yippee! But what else are they putting in the bill? Because it's not even like the main theme isn't less taxes on overtime. Yeah. So you see that one bit of info and you're like, hell yeah.
I mean, vote for that one thing. Because then they also, and even more to your point, it's like, well, if you, so for example, in that thing, they also have a state where one of the other additional things is like the only people who can regulate AI for the next 10 years is the federal government. You can't have any states or local authorities, I should say, enforce. Okay. So you can't have states or local authorities enforce any AI-related laws or judges. That is solely in the that's a federal thing for the next 10 years, in this, according to this bill. What does that mean? Well, it means that like if the state of California wants to introduce a legislation that prevents, say, the Hollywood industry from, exploiting these artificial generative systems so that they didn't have to pay their actors what they had to pay. And so if the state of California recognizes that as being a negative thing for their major cities' incomes, they want to make a legislation that says you can't do that. Well, too bad. You can't. You can't. You want to stop the government wants to introduce an AI into the economic sector so that it can autonomously track and regulate every individual American's currency spending habits down to the cent in real time.
Yeah.
You don't want that to happen? Tough shit.
Yeah.
But that's where we are. That's where we're going. That's here. That's today.
Yeah.
And
has that passed, or is it going
past
through?
the House? It has to get past the Senate, and then it has to get signed into law.
Gotcha. And again, bring back to my point where it's like, that's terrifying,
Or past
right?
the House, has to get through the Senate.
But there are probably going to be people who go against it.
Because no matter what your position is, there are things in there that you want. No matter what your position is, there are more things in there that you don't want.
Yeah.
And so and then it becomes a tool where we were trying to pass this bill, but the other party didn't let it go through. And I wish I could have helped you more, but they stopped it from. I wish I could have given you overtime, but they didn't want to give you overtime. Can you believe they didn't want to pay you for overtime?
And now
they really wanted to pay overtime taxes.
Now people are going to get radicalized,
Yeah.
and we start from the beginning.
Meanwhile, on the other side, they're saying, man, we really wanted to make it so that what's a good example? They really wanted to make it so that you could have free education. We really wanted to educate our population. We really wanted to improve our standard of living. We really want to like get rid of all this awfulness in the government. We really want to do all this good stuff, and they stopped it. Can you believe that they wanted you to suffer? Can you believe that? That's awful. They wanted you to do that.
And again,
what are we doing here?
To extreme people, where now those two extremes who believe they're the bad guy and they're the bad guy are going to fight each other. And then what happens? Is there progress?
No.
Little to none.
Well, what ends up happening is that the stuff that gets passed is only beneficial for the people that don't get caught in these traps.
Yeah.
They're the ones writing the fucking stuff.
Yeah, and those are the people who also, keep this in mind, those are the people that also think that Jesus talked to a baby on a podcast.
Yeah.
I think that's right about our time.
Praise be to Goo.
Praise the flying spaghetti monster.
Yeah. May his delicious tentacly appendages reach down and caress us all.
Ramen.
Ramen.
Yeah, this has been us again.
Yeah.
Don't get too tired of it.
Heredicality.
I think the heredicality. I think the kids would just call this yapping.
Yeah.
I think that's the
for sure yapping.
Gen Z term.
Yeah.
But
dope Sigma yappers.
You know why we're special? We don't really stand by the things that we say that we don't know 100% about.
We're also special because our names are Ed.
Oh,
Ed and Eddie, right?
We'll edit there. You ruined the whole take. Now we gotta do it over again. All right, be good to each other. Love you. Bye.
Bye. Have fun.
Kisses.
Cat's like, what the fuck?